It's Week 8 of the National Football League, and we'll be watching the Browns' leader at quarterback. He comes in fourth in the league in passing this year. It's the Browns and the Chargers, and it's coming up next.
Well, a steady rain has been falling here, but it has not dampened the spirits of the hardy folks at Huntington Bank Field here in Cleveland, Ohio.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And they can't bring him down. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020. The man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. The defense rising to the challenge and setting them back on the sand.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
So an early wake-up call there leads to a quick second and long. Now the first carry here for the running back. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Naturally so. The defense was keyed in on everyone but the back on that play, and it took them an extra second to react when he got the carry. It's still a tough third down to pick up here, but a lot more manageable after an excellent carry on second down.
And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Their first possession of the game, and they're already going after double coverage.
That's a nice completion that can set the tone for things to come if they're able to keep finding ways to beat what the defense is throwing at them. They look like they're confident that they can get it done.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. Now 2nd and 9. On the option right, Herbert. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. You look at this Browns defense. They're a unit that struggled some against the run, no doubt, coming in 25th out of 32 teams.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. They snap it to Herbert. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. From the shotgun, here's Herbert. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 21. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. Well, they clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease. Feels good about what he's doing. And I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that. I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Herbert. This is caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical. They've been crisp. And as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
To the air again, Herbert. Open man, it's Johnston. Touchdown, Chargers. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
Hey, they can talk all they want about putting a loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed, and this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. Whatever they said appears to have worked.
Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. And a look here now at their 4th-year quarterback.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
The former first-round pick Marlon Humphrey there to get a hand on it.
Now a 2nd and 10. But you talk about the defense for these Chargers.
They find themselves just a couple of spots outside of the top 10 defending the pass, number 12 in the league.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're pretty proud of their rankings. But this ranking is going to be put to the test today because they're going up against a top 5 passing offense in this one.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
They'll set up the screen to Taylor.
And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the 1st down. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Corey Bojorquez now to punt this one away.
Back deep for L.A. is Darius Davis.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
The Chargers offense and their quarterback coming out for their 2nd drive. And he's been a real threat in the red zone and beyond. As you take a look at the NFL leaders in rushing touchdowns by a QB, you'll notice he's worked his way into the top 5 at this point of the season.
And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And they'll keep leaning on the running game, back to the ground. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Taken in at the 22. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. Browns will take over, 1st and 10.
The Browns offense, led by their running back, headed out for the 2nd possession. And they've used him quite a bit in the passing game as you take a look at the NFL leaders in receiving yards by a running back, and he's right there in the mix. They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Now back to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
With a heavy set out there, 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor.
Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. Coming off every player's friend, the open week from last weekend.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Even if you're coming off of a loss as they did, the open week is exactly what you need after you kind of get over it a little bit, right? Rest up the mind, rest up the body, get yourself ready to go. And they have to be eager to play again, especially since they lost the last time out.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
That is caught.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Here's Herbert.
He's got another one to Johnston.
And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And it appears we have a Charger shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us, because they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
And now the Browns coming out on the field.
In the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this to be a game that they dearly love to have.
Oh, indeed. They have to have this one because that's something positive to take with you when you go away for a few days, and it actually releases your mind. If they lose this one, that mind stays cluttered the entire time they're away, and they've got to scramble to get back in sync when they start playing again.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
A short throw pulled in by Woods. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch.
And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be 4th down.
Here's Corey Bojorquez to punt this thing away.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all, and if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
That's brought in by Davis over the middle. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Out of the gun, Herbert. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
They go with the empty set there. 5 receivers in the formation. Normally, you want to have a running back in to block, but in this case, he's lined up to the right, and he ends up getting the football. A lot of confusion caused defensively, and it turns into a big play.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Again, Herbert. To the left side, he's got McConkey.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
A good down to possibly take a shot, and in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on 2nd and inches. Herbert now.
This is caught. Touchdown.
Ladd McConkey,
his first touchdown on the year.
And the Chargers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good, and it's now 14-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Browns now going to take over late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores.
They go play action here on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it's second down. They'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. He gets this to Davante Adams. The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Back to throw again. That is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
The LA defense up to snuff in coverage there. Pushes this to 4th down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They turn to Taylor on 4th, and he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. 9 seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. Now movement up front. I think they're going to get one of the Charger linemen. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have reached halftime. Intermission with the visiting Chargers on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point, Week 8 of the NFL season. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And in the second quarter, it's the Vikings who are out on top. Jordan Addison, a touchdown reception. From there, it's up to Highmark Stadium to check in on the Bills. And they've got the lead in their matchup with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Travis Homer, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last as we head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. 3 touchdown passes there for Davis Mills. The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break, but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Browns offense set to go to work to begin this third quarter. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be second down. From the gun, it's Taylor. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. He'll drop to throw. Completes it right side to Cooper. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. Over the middle, it's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Here's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On play action, they'll throw.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Chargers force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
The Chargers offense and Justin Herbert getting set for this next drive. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Charger drive about to get going. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
Now it's Herbert. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on 1st.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beef eaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Well, we got beef eaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu, I'll tell you that much for free.
So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10.
And the Browns getting set to go. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Up the middle, here's Taylor.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
They'll run the toss here with Taylor.
And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 32-yard line. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
To the right side, this is Taylor.
And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Looking to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And you look at his numbers as a pass catcher in this one. They've lined him up in different spots, shifted him around, and made him a real weapon in the passing game. The Charger drive about to get going. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's Charger football, and they've got the lead as well as we begin the fourth quarter. They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
He's going to get it on the jet sweep.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Back to throw here, Herbert. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. Here's Herbert. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. Short throw to Disley. So nothing doing there, and that'll make it second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 25-yard line. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there.
60 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is first and goal. Herbert. And he's got it. And he's in for a Charger touchdown.
Isaiah Likely
taking it in.
And the Chargers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, Keep converting and picking up first downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Throw out wide is incomplete.
Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking for Cooper. That's complete. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 30. They'll look to throw. Again, it's Cooper as he makes the catch. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. 2nd and 3. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
They'll set up the screen to Taylor.
And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers' 12-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively, and 2nd down.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
Over the middle into the hands of Woods. And the Browns are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll set up to throw as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. 2nd and 2. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A 5-yard touchdown.
And the Browns are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And this will not work out. The Chargers able to recover.
Well, CD, you understand. I mean, they're so eager trying to get back in this game here in the fourth quarter, but they touched that one a little too early before it went 10 yards.
Brandon, in such a high-stakes scenario, everyone's feeling the pressure on this play. The special teams coordinator, which one is he going to pick in terms of kicks? Can the kicker execute it? Can the team wait for 10 yards? So many variables, and in this case, they didn't get it done.
Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
On second down, here's the option.
The Browns will quickly use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
They'll come up now, 3rd and 3.
Here's Herbert.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Charger first down, and that should be the one that gets him to the finish line.
Call it a gain of 11 yards, and that should just about do it.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll, and now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Herbert to a knee, and that should just about write it into this one.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. So this one's over. It's in the win column for the LA Chargers. And this, not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours, right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer, Tim Karen, said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for Los Angeles, they move back over 500 now at 4-3. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10.